Smash. Smash. Smash.
San Francisco born and bred Eileen Gu has joined Team China.
Ew, pass.
How could you?
This is Not My Party. Brought to you by the Bulwark. So we're in the second week of the Beijing Olympics, and I'm feeling pretty grossed out by the whole deal.
There's something in the air.
Frankly, I think we should have just boycotted Beijing to protest the continued atrocities of the Chinese government.
The Chinese government.
But of course we haven't. So I can't be mad at the American athletes for going and kicking ass. But I do think the politicians should have stepped up and forced them to sit this one out.
You're staying home.
While it was good that the Biden administration did this,
The Biden administration will not send any diplomatic representation to the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics.
in my opinion, they didn't go far enough.
That is weak.
China's tyrannical behavior is just too egregious, and we're giving the regime a massive propaganda win. And for what? So the corporate sponsors can sell some ads?
No, I mean, maybe.
Because you can't tell me we're in it for the athletes. Some who went over there were put in a horrific COVID quarantine where they were fed prison food for days on end.
I'm not sure I can handle 14 more days.
And the rest are living in what they've described as a Squid Game vibe. And if the Olympic Committee actually cared about athletes, they wouldn't have scheduled the games in a country that disappeared one of their own. This is what happened to PENG, a Chinese tennis player who blew the whistle on sexual assault by the regime. She resurfaced weeks later with a creepy, state-approved cover-up story.
The IOC did not give CNN access to that video.
But instead of dishing out punishment for this, the Olympic Committee was complicit in the lie.
I don't think it's up for us to be able to judge.
Whose side are you on?
So why should the US be a part of this? The rose emoji leftists and Donald Trump offer one explanation. They might not agree on much, but they're aligned when it comes to moral relativism. After all, the US does bad stuff too, right?
You think our country's so innocent?
America is worse than ISIS.
This false equivalence is horse. Yeah, the American state can act appallingly. Look at the recent no-knock warrant that resulted in the death of yet another black man, Amir Locke.
My son. I've seen it happen too many times.
But our government's failings are not even in the same universe as the systematic oppression being employed by the Chinese Communist Party. Their regime is conducting a genocide and running re-education internment camps for the Uyghur Muslims on a scale unlike anything in the world. People like Harvard lecturer RAHILE DAWUT have been disappeared.
I will keep asking Chinese government, where is my mother?
There are forced abortions and sterilizations, and UN human rights experts have received credible allegations that the Chinese are harvesting Uyghur organs. This is sick Nazi and the Holocaust Museum agrees.
They would know.
But when China props up one Uyghur athlete as a propaganda tool during the opening ceremonies, the media echoes their spin.
To choose an athlete from the Uyghur minority, it is an in-your-face response to those Western nations, including the US.
Gross.
And while we're rage tweeting about the supposed censorship in the US, in China, they literally interrogate and manacle people who criticize the regime. The CCP has harassed women's rights activists, cracked down on Me Too, freedoms in Hong Kong are being revoked, and Tibetan children are subjected to a state-sponsored cultural conversion therapy that prevents them from learning their language and traditions.
That's messed up.
The government bans websites and social media posts and movies. That oh-so-strongman Chairman Xi won't let Winnie the Pooh be aired in the country because some people said he looked like him.
They're the same picture.
Oh, bother.
And recently, this stuffed with fluff femboy banned all sissy men from TV. I assume to protect himself from the bad thoughts.
Adorable.
And oh yeah, I haven't even mentioned that the Chinese government covered up the deadly pandemic while it escaped from their shores, killing millions worldwide.
Unforgivable.
So yeah, we should have boycotted. So hopefully in the future, the Olympic Committee would have been forced to stick to countries that aren't committing genocide.
China is a**hole.
But y'all knew I couldn't finish a sports ep without talking about something a little more beautiful and pure. 1 year after winning only 4 games, take Team of Destiny, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in your Super Bowl pool. I got Bengals 30, Rams 24. We'll see you next week for more Not My Party. Go Bengals. For more weekly episodes of Not My Party, hit that subscribe button.